Welcome to another video. Today I am showing up ultra budget Umi control that's only a single UR in the deck. So after we go through some games with the full budget list, I'm going to show you the full budget list, and then I'm going to show you the upgraded list, the maximum power list that's going to be Umi control with no limit on the number of URs, and I'll show you some games with that. Opponent going first, they are playing Sword Soul Despias, which is not a combination I've seen before. Luckily, we have our one copy of Imperm. Now everyone's gotten in one Imperm and one Ash from the bundles. These do not count as URs, but there are a lot of nice SRs in this deck. One of them is Pot. Now we do not use the extra deck. We do not use the extra deck in this deck at all. You see, my extra deck's filled with garbage. Garbage. Nice little fusion monsters. Also, another really great budget option, and very good right now, is Evenly Matched. Activate at the end of your battle phase, make your opponent go down to one card. There are a lot of ways to search for your one UR in the deck, and you're going to see that one UR right now. The legendary Ocean Dragon Lord. Only need one. The more you have, the better, but you can play this deck very competitively with only one copy. We're going to search for the Sea Stealth. Past the opponent, they are locked. They cannot summon any non-water monsters right now. And opponent is done, and it's that easy. You get your Gozen matchup in the form of the Ocean Dragon Lord, and you win. Alright, let's go on to the next game. Now, I really feel that Umi Control is one of the best decks for new players. Unfortunate that you can't get Karushin from the pack anymore, but you only really need one UR for the deck, and the rest of the deck is SRs. So you can build the deck pretty easily, and once you have it, you have a very clear game plan. You get the Karushin on board, lock your opponent out of summoning, try and win from there. But we are on a budget, so when you're playing on a budget, sometimes things get hard. Your opponent sets board back row, reveals a Lord of Heavenly Prison. Dynamorphia's going to negate all our activated monster effects on the field. We're going to try our best though. Gotta activate the pot first. Opponent is going for the Frenzy. Frenzying up right now. Special summoning the Rex term. Now, I've played with Dynamorphia package, but I've never played against pure Dynamorphias. And we got a lot of options in this hand here. Opponent's going to activate their Lord, but that's okay. We luckily drew into Kaiju, which is going to let us remove a card from the field. Probably going to be this Rex term, which right now is going to be able to negate all our monster effects. We got Fish Sonar to search. We got one Foolish Barrel Goods to search, and we got the ability to search the field spell. So, we're going to try our best here. Gotta worry about this set back row as well. Let's start with Foolish Barrel Goods. Opponent lets it go. Activate from hand. War of Atlantis. Opponent negating. That was bait. We got two. This is not a hard once per turn. So opponent wasting a negate there. Nice to see. Well, let's activate the second one. Search for the Legendary Ocean. Get it on field. Opponent has Dynamorphia Sonic. They're gonna pay life points. We activate a spell trap card, pay half your life points, negate, and destroy it. Alright. Opponent not messing about. Negating everything they can. Alright. Let's keep going though. We got more interaction. We got the Fish Sonar. Opponent sending stuff to the graveyard. Let's activate Fish Sonar. Get the Jellyfish. Now, Kaiju away. That Dino Boy. Activate the Ice Berry in the graveyard. Opponent has a Dynamorphia alert, and this is going to special summon two Dynamorphias from the graveyard. I did not know about this card. This is pretty good, because it means opponent is getting their Dynamorphias back online. Now, unfortunately, we can summon the Jelly, but we can't activate it because of Rex Term's effect. Now, we're hoping here that opponent makes a mistake. We got Ice Barrier set, we got Bait back row, Foolish Burial Goods not able to do anything. Opponent set that Pot of Duality with the Lord of Heavenly Prison, so they get a free search. Their whole deck's traps though, so hopefully got another copy of that alert. That alert is doing some work. Okay, opponent going to battle, forcing us to Ice Barrier. If we don't Ice Barrier here, we're gonna take a lot of damage. Although, you know what? This is probably a mistake. I'm gonna give myself a mistake count for this. We should have let the Electric Jellyfish die and used the Ice Barrier on the Rex term. That is a mistake. Yeah, big mistake on my part here. Dynamorphia gonna activate, make our attack 0. And still gonna kill the kaiju, but we lose our jelly, and we're taking big damage. And the Rex term still alive, still negating all our activated monster effects. If we had just waited, we had waited. Could have used that Ice Bear on the Rex term, negate it permanently. It stays on the field, negate it forever, and then we could have got the Ocean Dragon Lord lock going. Big mistake. Let's try and recover here. Use that foolish Barragoods. Summon the Ocean Dragon Lord. Lock our opponent. But we can't activate Ocean Dragon Lord's effect to search, so he is not protected. We can search for one of our budget cards though. Get ECL back from the graveyard. Special summon him. And we can try and activate Ocean Dragon Lord, but opponent immediately activating Dinomorphy Alert, preventing us from activating Ocean Dragon Lord's effect, and giving our opponent that kaiju is gonna kill us. So a lot of mistakes here, not sure why. Opponent not attacking. Opponent very easily could have attacked into us right now, although if they go to battle phase, we do get to special summon something from the graveyard, so it was not lethal. Alright, gotta focus here. We draw an unsummonable Yugioh, but we can summon a jellyfish from the graveyard. Opponent activating Ferret Flames. Now I didn't get to show you, but Ferret Flames makes us banish monsters from our field until we have monsters with attack less than 157 their life points, which is all of our monsters. So we lose all our monsters, and that is good game. Opponent got us. Alright, well, see, I'm making terrible misplays here, but if you're better than me, which isn't that hard in this game, you definitely could have won that. So let's go on to the next one. Now I tested out a lot of budget options for this deck, and I'm going to go over them in the end of the video when I do the breakdown for the budget list. Let's start by sending that Ice Bear to the graveyard. Very easy. So many ways to search the Ocean Dragon Lord. Activate Sea Stealth. Get our fish sonar going. Jellyfish plus Umi plus a nice free Yugioh. There are a lot of normal monsters you can use for this slot. This one I picked because it has the highest attack and it's level 5, which means you can normal summon it when you have Sea Stealth online. Let's activate Sea Stealth, get that Legendary Ocean going. Opponent is polymerizing. Could have negated, but gonna let it happen. Opponent summoning a Branded, but they cannot activate its effective fusion summon, and there you go. It was bait. They're Raigeki-ing. Use the jelly to negate the Raigeki. Don't fall for the bait. Sometimes opponents always try and bait you. First negate, or first card they activate, always bait. Opponent realizing they can't attack into us, they are done. They're out of here. Budget Umi is just shredding the ladder. Let's go on to the next game. Alright, now one of the biggest weaknesses of this deck, especially the budget list, is it's very hard to close out the game without access to the whale. Whale lets you attack directly. So we got a budget whale. Budget whale doing his best impression of the regular whale. Let's activate Legendary Ocean. Activate the fish sonar. Opponent gonna max C. Nothing we can do about that, but we do not summon very much. So max C, usually it's gonna replace itself and that's it. Not the end of the world. Let's Jellyfish. Activate the Foolish. Get our Ocean Dragon Lord lock going. Citadel Whale does a nice little impression of a backup for the Ocean Dragon Lord, because if you activate Jellyfish and summon him, he sets a Sea Stealth attack directly from your deck onto the field. Can't even get ashed, so don't have to worry about Ash Blossom if you do that. Let's get the Ocean Dragon Lock going though. Activate Sea Stealth 2. We got Umi, negate, Water Lock, and Sea Stealth attack. See what the opponent can do. Opponent got the answer. They got the out, they drew it. Forbidden Droplet. We cannot respond. Urgent Schedule. We can try and negate, but it's not going to do anything. Just kidding. Opponent only discarded one card with their Forbidden Droplet. They didn't negate our whole board. And opponent, you had the Urgent Schedule. Okay, so either the trick here, what opponent should have done, this is a big mistake on the opponent's part. You activate Urgent Schedule, and while it's on the field, you activate Forbidden Droplet, and then you can send the Urgent Schedule that's on field and a card from your hand to negate our whole board. So opponent, big misplay. We're going to give you a misplay point right there. So we're tied. One misplay for us, one misplay for the opponent. Opponent got more plays though. They got the Gear Frame. They get the Machina redeployment, searching for a fortress. But not sure how opponent's going to break through this board. The Uncless Sparse is coming down. They're going to send a machine to the graveyard, summoning the fortress. They got a lot going on here. Ancient Gear Ballista going to set an Ancient Gear, or add an Ancient Gear spell to their hands to get Gear Town, which they can pop and special summon an Ancient Gear monster from their deck. They got the Ruin Force though, 4,800 attack. That's a lot of damage. 4,600. Opponent is going to be able to negate stuff during the battle phase as well, which is a bit awkward for us. Let's save the Jellyfish. Get to save one monster per turn here. An opponent can negate the effect of our Sea Stealth by paying half their life points, but also dealing 400 damage to us. Not ideal, leaving us extremely close to dead, but Umi Control does not need to give up. We get our Jellyfish back. Once per turn during the battle phase, our Sea Stealth 2 is going to reanimate a card from our graveyard that mentions Umi. Unfortunately, evenly matched, not great when you're ahead. Let's get the Citadel Whale, get another copy of the Sea Stealth attack. Also will negate targeted effects of target water monsters. Citadel Whale can negate. Now here we go, going to the battle phase. Opponent going to negate the effect of the Sea Stealth 2 to special summon the Kairyu-Shin. We're going to negate with Jellyfish. Jelly negate. Opponent going to be forced to go down to one monster now when the Kairyu-Shin effect activates. Let's attack into the Ballista. Was this a mistake? This may have been a mistake. By attacking, they have no monsters on the field, which means they get to special summon their Machina Citadel from the graveyard. And Citadel has an effect, quick effect. It pops itself, and it pops all monsters that have lower attack than it. Well, I'd say it pops itself. You target a machine you control. Pop itself. Pop every monster that had lower attack. So we're going to save our Jelly. Let everything else die. And this is a grindy game. This is extremely grindy. Opponent got nothing. We got nothing. Except a little Jellyfish. But we got a grind engine going. Every turn we're reanimating something. We can save things with Sea Stealth. Opponent going back with the Ruin Force. Let's repeat what happened last time. Activate Sea Stealth. Opponent pays to negate. We negate the negate. Opponent, you gotta break the parity here. Right now we're winning. Now, unfortunately, we cannot save our Ocean Dragonlord this turn because we gotta save the Jellyfish. Opponent going for War of Atlantis. Now, nice little trick, which I figure out later. You can't activate this if you've activated it already this turn, but you can activate both of them on the same chain. I don't understand why that works. Someone's gonna have to explain to me in the comments. But that is a very neat trick. Let's Pot of Greed. Getting rid of our useless extra deck. Opponent gonna Ash Blossom. We got the choice. Do we want to negate the Ash, or do we want to negate during battle phase? I would like 2 cards. Pot of Greed, good. I'm gonna negate. Get that value. Get it while you can. Ash Blossom out of here. Let's draw 2. Drawing another pot, not great. We can't activate it, but we can skip the battle phase so as to not get negated by the Ruin Force. Opponent sent a card. Go into battle, negating our Umi. We're gonna negate the negate. Opponent could choose not to negate this. Maybe they're making a mistake here. Special summon the Ocean Dragonlord. Opponent trying to get in for lethal. We're gonna save him. Both our Sea Stealths are activating to destroy this monster that's attacking. Get popped. It's gonna activate in the graveyard. Special summon the Citadel. Citadel's gonna attack. Both the Sea Stealths are gonna activate. Big mistake, opponent. Not sure what that was all about. Can opponent recover from this? We got no board though. An opponent resummoning the Ruin Force in the end phase. All we got is the Jelly. Back to our turn. Let's activate the pot. We had 2 pots here. We only had 3 cards left in our extra deck, so this pot is better. We activated the better pot right now. And we hit the best card we could have hit here. Foolish Burial Goods. Foolish gonna let us search for any level 5 or higher water monster. Let's activate. We got a lot of options here, but they're all budget options. So we're gonna go for the Kaiju. Kaiju gonna tribute away their machine monster. activate the Umi. Now, why didn't I summon the electric jellyfish? It's a great question. Let's save our Ocean Dragon Lord. Well, the real answer is because we can't attack through this Kaiju right now. Opponent activating Urgent Schedule. We are going to negate. Not sure why, opponent, you could have activated that during your turn. Opponent you gotta use your resources. We get one negate a turn. Umi control. Budget Umi control with one Ocean Dragon Lord. Fighting off opponent's Kaiju. We are letting them borrow. Opponent is likely out of materials to special summon this from the graveyard. Except now they got another Uncless Sparse, sending more stuff to the graveyard. But the Uncless Sparse is locking them. They can't summon anything else while the Uncless Sparse is on field. We got this. Useless pot in hand. But we're going to activate Ocean Dragon Lord. Get the Rage. Let's try and break through this board. Pop the Kaiju. Get in for lethal attack. And opponent is done. We did it. We beat him. What a grindy game. Alright, let's go on to the budget deck list. And then I will show you the non-budget deck list. Let's go. Alright, so here is the budget list I came up with. Now, I'm going to talk through some of these card options and maybe what you could replace if you want to go for a medium budget build. Now, when I talk about budget lists, my idea of a budget list is I try and limit the number of URs as low as possible, but for SRs, I go crazy. SRs are fine. I do try my best to not use as many SRs, but if there's an SR that's good in the deck, I'm throwing it in. Not sure why we have a 5-headed dragon in here. You don't need this. This one doesn't count. You use any other random fusion monster. We're just using these as materials. Now, Pot of Extravagance is a bit risky at 3, but in a budget build, you draw this, activate, it's a Pot of Greed. Probably worth it. Downside is if you run too many, you can draw extras. I'm going to just talk about the budget monster options because they are pretty limited. For budget options for the monster slot, I tried out Legendary Fisherman 2, I tried out General Wayne of the Ice Barrier, which is a great one. I tried out Amphibious Bugmoth, and I tried out the Lebia Dragon Daedalus. Now, there's a lot of, none of these options are great. You really just want more copies of Ocean Dragon Lord, but I think the best one in a vacuum is the General Wayne. General Wayne does his best impression of being Ocean Dragon Lord because when he's summoned, he searches for an Ice Barrier spell. So you can activate Legendary Ocean, summon him, summon the General Wayne, and just get an Ice Barrier. An Ice Barrier, you set it. When opponent attacks, you activate it's in the graveyard, you search for your one Ocean Dragon Lord. So for that reason, I say if you're choosing this to play this deck and you want a replacement for Ocean Dragon Lord, well, if you don't have enough UR gems, just use General Wayne. General Wayne's kind of the best option. You get 3 of them. If you don't have enough SR gems, you can use the Bugmoth or Legendary Fisherman 2. They all have strengths and weaknesses, so it's up to you to kind of see how things are going. General Wayne's static effect is great right now because of all the runic decks going around. When your opponent activates a spell and a spell is sent, or a spell or trap is sent from the field to the graveyard for your opponent, it gets banished. So that banishes all of your opponent's runic spells. They all get banished. They can't activate their effect to shuffle things back in the deck and draw additional cards. So that's some sweet value. That's why General Wayne's my #1 pick. Alright, let's go on to the budget games, or non-budget games, and then I'll show you the non-budget list. Let's go. Alright, now the non-budget version of this deck is very strong, and we are playing triple Imperm, triple Ash. And those cards are very good. They're going to come in handy pretty often. Our opponent is playing Scareclaw. Now, you tell me if this is right. I always try and negate the Scareclaw Lightheart that searches the field spell. I don't know if that's the right play. Feels right to me. Maybe it's not. You let me know. Scareclaw negated. Now they do have probably 4 copies of that field spell, but looks like they don't have access to it right now. Searching for a Scareclaw arrival, special summoning. More Scareclaws and going into their boss, Triheart. Triheart gonna make all our monsters forced to be in defense position, and he's unaffected by defense position monsters' activated effects. Very interesting. Opponent gonna summon a bunch of monsters to the field here. Not sure what they're doing with the Parallel Exceeds, but this Scareclaw Triheart gains abilities based on what's equipped to it. So this Scareclaw bolt alone is going to give him piercing battle damage. Not sure what this one does, but we draw a nice little Pot of Greed. Opponent activating the Scareclaw Splash. Now, if they'd activated this in the standby phase, they could have negated our pot, but opponent doesn't have their toggle on, That's a big mistake from the opponent. Opponent misplaying. Misplay number 2 from the opponent today. Let's draw, and we got a nice little turtle kaiju to get rid of our opponent's Scareclaw tryhard. That is also going to turn off the splash. No negates for our opponent now. And this is going to be a pretty easy board to dismantle. 5 monsters. How about 2 monsters, opponent? Foolish Burial Goods. Gonna get that Ice Bear to the graveyard. Gonna give us the Ocean Dragon Lord. And he's just 1 normal summon away. Let's activate Legendary Ocean. Force our opponent down to 1 Scareclaw monster. Get our Sea Stealth attack. And opponent knows they are done. They're out of here. Alright, that is the power of full, no budget Umi control. Let's go on to the next game. Alright. Bit of a clunky hand here. 2 Sea Stealth 2s. Doesn't let us summon the Ocean Dragon Lord right away. So we're going to go for a different route here. Ice Bear going to get the Mega Fortress Whale. And you're going to see why I am running 1 copy of General Dwayne. General Dwayne of the Ice Barrier. Now we're going to just do some little baiting here. Want to save our Sea Stealth attack, so we're setting another Sea Stealth 2. So our opponent doesn't know. If they try and pop something, they don't know what to pop. Opponent is playing Blue Eyes. Blue Eyes White Dragon. Summoning a Blue Eyes Alternative Dragon. Going to battle. And battle is a mistake, opponent, because we get to summon the Mega Fortress Whale. Fortress Whale going to pop their attack position monster. And he's going to die. We're going to let him die. Could have saved him. We're going to let him die to summon Dwayne. Dwayne of the Ice Barrier. Going to search for an Ice Barrier. Opponent send a back row. Passing to us. That is classic Blue Eyes. Very bricky hand. War of Atlantis. Let's activate. See if we can bait out an Ash Blossom. No Ash Blossom for the opponent, so Legendary Ocean's online too. Let's go to battle, and every battle phase we get back the Mega Fortress Whale. Only 1 General Dwayne though. So let's use Ice Sea Stealth attack. Save our whale. Now he doesn't get destroyed by the effect of our Sea Stealth 2. Opponent got a Monster Reborn. Special summoning the Alternative Dragon. You'll notice that Monster Reborn getting banished because of Dwayne. Ultimate Creature also getting banished, which is very convenient because this has a graveyard effect to reset itself. So General Dwayne, actually some incidental value against a lot of decks probably. Now, this monster is unaffected by effects for the rest of the turn. Is this a misplay? Activating the Ice Barrier? No. We want this in the graveyard. We're going to save General Dwayne with the Sea Stealth attack. Since you cannot reanimate him with Sea Stealth 2. He does not mention Umi. Let's let our whale die here. Opponent very annoyingly getting the Blue Eyes Jet Dragon. This card has a lot of words, and I'm not reading them. But opponent was scared of the set Sea Stealth 2, falling for the bait, bouncing it back to hand. Alright. Well, let's search. It's Karushin time. General Dwayne teaming up with Karushin. And we got Fish Sonar. Now we could get easy lethal here, but I should have activated this Fish Sonar first and I forgot. So we used our normal summon on the Ocean Dragon Lord and didn't summon our Jellyfish. That's a bit of an oops here, but we're in such a good position. I think we got this. Let's get in for almost lethal damage. Use our little trick to get Jellyfish from the hand onto the field permanently. Opponent got 1200 life, we got Negate, we got Ocean Lock. Every spell sent to the graveyard, or banished instead of sent to the graveyard. Easy. Alright, here is my current non-budget Umi Control deck list. If you want to play pure Umi Control, I got lots of variants on my channel. If you want to see other versions of Umi Control going on, we got Sword Soul Umi, we got Umi with tribute monsters, giving your opponent tokens, all sorts of stuff. So check out the channel if you want to see that. In our deck, we got all the good stuff. We got hand traps, we got all 3 copies of Ocean Dragon Lord, we got the Mega Fortress Whale. But even at maximum budget, the main deck is pretty budget friendly. We only really have 4 URs that are needed. The rest are hand traps that you could swap out with something else, and most people have these hand traps anyway. The extra deck, I can count on one hand the times I've used the extra deck, but I'll show you anyway. Mostly this is here in case something goes horribly wrong. We got Zeus, We got some Nightmares, we got Blackluster Soldier, Access Code, Underworld Goddess, but you're mostly going to use these cards as banish fodder for your pots. So 2 Pot of Extrav, 1 Pot of Prosperity. I've tried 3 Pot of Extravagance, and one time I drew pot into 2 pots, and that was the end of playing 3. So there you go. Hope you liked the video, and I'll see you next time. Have a good night.